Hello and welcome to today's presentation, a simple recipe for social media success. And I am happy that you have taken the time to join me today. We're going to be talking a lot about social media. A lot of things are changing in the social media marketing world. And as we go through this presentation, I'm going to try to hit on as many of the updates as possible. And like I said, I will be sending out a follow-up email that will have a copy of the slides and a link to the video so that you'll have it for future reference. So let's talk a little bit about why it's important to use social media to market your business. And I guess one of the first things that when we think of it is that social media can help grow your business. And not only that, it seems a little overwhelming sometimes, and especially if you are managing your digital marketing by yourself. It really can be a challenge to kind of keep up with everything. So hopefully what I'm going to do today is give you some good tips on how to grow your social media as part of your business marketing without it being overwhelming. Another reason why social media marketing is important to promote your business is that 21% of consumers are more likely to buy from brands that that reach them by social media. So connecting with brands and companies, not only through visiting your website or anything like that, but also there to help you to expand your reach, connect with your customers, stay engaged with them throughout their relationship with you, and just an easy way to share. So consumers do find you, and they want to find you on social media. Another reason why social media is important is that it does carry, as you know, a huge influence on those that are also online. So, for example, posts that highlight, let's say, a follower or friend, I can always see who my friends are following on social media. So influence is important. 37% of consumers are inspired to make a purchase through what they see on social media. And then lastly, social media is also a great way to improve and encourage support for nonprofits and causes. So if you're in the nonprofit world, social media can definitely be an important factor. 84% of share information on social media to show support for a cause or a nonprofit that we are engaged with. So all around, whether you're business to business, social media or business to consumer, social media definitely can help you stay engaged through reaching those that you support through your charitable connections, and also lets people know that you are available to connect with them, and maybe even through partnerships that you have through your social media channels with nonprofits. So here's what we're going to talk about today. Now that we've gotten kind of the baseline of what we're dealing with when it comes to social media marketing, first is choosing the right social media networks for your business. And then I'm going to try to present you a really simple guideline to manage your social media in a plan, what we call the 15-minute social media marketing plan. And then lastly, we're going to talk about getting started with paid social advertising. So before we dive in, let me introduce myself. My name is John Walker. I'm the co-founder of TE Digital. We are a digital marketing agency. We provide a wide range of services to our customers, everything from paid advertising, website design, social media marketing, the whole nine yards. I am happy to be here with you today because this really kind of highlights a lot of what we're going to be talking about. As a certified constant contact partner since 2010, I have spoken to hundreds of businesses about their social media marketing. And because of the relationship that SCORE has with Constant Contact as a partnership, I am able to bring this content to you. I am also a SCORE subject matter expert located here in Boise, Idaho. But of course, we can reach us anywhere. And here's just a little bit about my company and what we do. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. We've been around since 2009. But as part of that, our relationship with SCORE has been really important in our own business growth. So I'm really happy that you have decided to join us and looking forward to presenting you. But here is some of the things that we do here at the Treasure Valley SCORE. We are really kind of specialized in one-on-one mentoring. And in today's world, especially with the pandemic, we not only provide one-on-one mentoring in all online formats, whether it be by email, by telephone, or through Zoom calls. Our SCORE mentors are here to help you. And of course, we like to provide you with our workshops and webinars to help you kind of wrap your arms around everything that's going on in small business. We are also here to guide you through any range of issues that you may have. And we're looking to build a long-term relationship with you. So, once you become a SCORE client, you will have a mentor or a team of professionals available to help you grow your business and to be successful. And this is actually for the life of your business. So think of it. You have in your back pocket the ability to connect with a diverse group of mentors whose experience and expertise ranges in all of these different areas. So if you need any help at all with managing your small business, or actually having someone available maybe to bounce ideas off of, a SCORE mentor is very important. And here's how you can connect with us at treasurevalley.score.org. Sign up for an online mentoring session. Like I said, it is free and no obligation or any type of stuff like that. We are just here to help you grow your business. If you want to keep up on things like financing, what are the latest loan programs, definitely SCORE is one that can help you. And here is also a link to the SBA.gov, which is SCORE's kind of parent and a awesome small business resource. So let's talk about choosing the right social media network. But before we do that, let me ask you a question. Are you currently using social media to promote your business? And I'm going to pull up my poll and let's see. Yes, let's get some answers here. Awesome. If you are using social media to promote your business, you are awesome. And if you're not at this time, don't worry. We are going to be giving you some good ideas on where to start and how to get started. So let me close this out and then share the results with you. 100% of you all have stated that you are using social media to promote your business. So that is awesome. So let's go back to our presentation. And let's just talk really briefly about a baseline framework for how social media can help you grow your business. So awareness is one of those, customer service, and then of course driving action. So we'll talk about those in depth. So when it comes to awareness, and what I mean by awareness is making yourself available and accessible to an audience that might be interested in your product or service. So being found and building interest are the two main factors when it comes to building awareness. And then, of course, customer service. So when we talk about customer service, social media is an excellent tool to gauge let's say, the attitude or a pulse of your audience. It's a great way to communicate with your audience in real time, in a lot of cases, through various tools like social media chat, Twitter. All of these tools really kind of help build on that customer service platform. And in a lot of cases, like I said, social media is also a great way to gauge the pulse of your audience. And using it as a customer service tool can also help win over those who may have questions or who may have, let's say, maybe leaning one way or the other to engage with you as a business. So it can be very instrumental in helping convert those, let's say, window shoppers into viable prospects. And then, of course, the other thing that you can do with social media is you can drive action. So let's say once you've built up that audience, you've gotten a lot of awareness marketing out there, you are engaging your audience through customer service tools and outreach. Now, when it comes to driving action, we are looking, number one, to win. We've won that trust. We can build up what we call creating a craving. You can look at how you can actually pull business away from your competitors to you, and of course, driving action. So these are the four things that really kind of help drive action when we think of social media marketing. And then, of course, the social media platforms that you decide to engage with are just as important as your website design or your, let's say, things like video. And we'll talk a little bit about this. But choosing the right platform, whether it be Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, there's a lot out there that can help you. And then we'll talk about these individually. So let's start with Facebook. So why Facebook? Well, Facebook, of course, happens to be the largest social network out there today. It is a great way to reach a variety of audiences. There are over 3 million or so businesses that have a business presence on Facebook. It is just the place where I can guarantee you that your audience does engage on Facebook. And then what types of things are great to kind of post on Facebook? Well, of course, posting videos, photos, maybe links to your website, whether it be blog posts or important pages, information to other resources that you may be connected with online. And then, of course, any type of events that you may be putting on, like, for example, this workshop or maybe a workshop or webinar that you're putting on. Social media, or especially in Facebook, is a great way to reach that audience. And of course, probably the second most widely known social media platform is Twitter. And you might be asking, why would I be interested in Twitter? Well, I think of Twitter as kind of my broadcast network. If I want to put something out about my business that is, let's say, something happening in real time, I can use Twitter to get the word out quickly to my following. And of course, building your following on all of these social platforms is important. And of course, and then sharing information. So what things are really good to post on Twitter? What type of content works is video, photos, of course, links to your website or blog, and of course, event information. And the other thing, too, that you have to remember when you're using social media platforms is that each platform kind of has a unique way of presenting that content. So what works on Facebook as far as a post may not be appropriate or may work, whether it's the sizes of the images or the content itself and how it's laid out in your post would work. So look at not only just kind of repeating on Twitter, for example, what you've posted on Facebook, but you may want to tweak that particular information to fit the platform. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. Of course, Instagram is also hugely popular. And if you're using Instagram, one of the things that Instagram, of course, is owned by Facebook. So your integration with Facebook posts and Instagram posts are very similar. Again, another way to expand your reach and maybe connect with people in whatever particular industry that you're in by using photos and videos more often. So, like I said, what you post on Facebook, you should look at how your Instagram post should look, and Instagram generally being driven by photos and videos. Again, you're going to have to craft your message a little bit differently on Twitter, or excuse me, on Instagram. And of course, a LinkedIn is a let's say a profession-driven platform. This is where I would say if you wanted to connect directly with decision makers or folks who play a role in deciding whether or not to engage with your business, LinkedIn is the place to go. Because there you can really kind of narrow down your searches on or your connections with people in a wide variety of ways, but driven mostly by company types, industries, even job types, what their job title is. Let's say, for example, you are in the financial services industry and you want to reach all the CFOs that you can online, then LinkedIn would be the place to go. And of course, what is good to post on LinkedIn are links that will take people off of LinkedIn to maybe your blog post. I like to share industry related articles on LinkedIn. And again, you can promote events. LinkedIn has a very robust event platform like Facebook does. So if you have any webinars or any workshops that you may do in person, LinkedIn would be a great place to post those events to. So you can see kind of a common thread throughout each of the social media platforms. But again, there are differences in the audiences and the types of information or the ways that information is presented on these social media platforms. But with all of, we're talking about all these different, types of platforms that are out there, it can be overwhelming. So I want to encourage you, don't be afraid to explore the different platforms. But what I would like for you to do would be to focus on one or two that really kind of would be your primary source. And for most of us who are either beginning in our business life or who have been established, Facebook would be a great place to start. So let's talk a little bit about how do we get people to follow us on social media. One of the first things that I think you could do to kind of explore that would be to, and you can do this on all the platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and let's see, YouTube, Pinterest. All the social media platforms now use hashtags to kind of identify and categorize posts. So one of the things that you could do to find out, who's out there in your industry that may be interested in your product or service would be to engage with folks or to do some research on popular hashtags in your industry. The second thing you could do to grow your social media following is to invite those folks who are on your email list to follow you on social media. And one of the best ways to do that, it would be to use some type of automated welcome series in your email marketing that would maybe after you've welcomed them as a subscriber, maybe you automatically send out the next email that will encourage them to follow you on your favorite social media platform or your primary social media platform where you want people to engage with you with. And of course, then asking in person, whether it be at an event or you're sharing, let's say you're in a chat on a webinar, for example, just sharing your business and asking people to join you on social media or to follow you on social media. So now that we've kind of gone through, how to choose the right platform, let's talk about a way to plan your social media activities. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to do this. That's in a 15-minute social media marketing plan, whether you do this 15 minutes a day or 15 minutes a week or however you want to. We're going to break this down for you in a very simple, manageable plan. But before we do that, I have another question for you. Are you currently using, or do you currently have a separate, dedicated social media marketing plan? So let's go ahead and let me launch that. Do you have a social media marketing plan? All right. Well, this is interesting. We'll go ahead and close this out. Thank you for participating. Let's see. 100% of you are saying no. Well, that is very interesting because 100% of you have said that you are using social media to promote your business, but apparently you don't have a really good plan. So we're going to talk about that. And I think this is probably where you're going to get the most value out of this presentation. So let us really dive into creating this 15-minute plan. So as we talked about, your effort, kind of the basic three things when it comes to to why social media is important, we can use those three areas to kind of help us focus on meeting our three goals of building awareness, providing customer support, and having our folks take action. And we're going to break this down in 5 minutes each day or however long, but really, if we focus on these three areas, you will find your social media marketing plan will be a lot easier to manage. So let's talk about generating awareness. So as you can see, we can use social media to put things out about our business. Not always necessarily about buying from us. We like to use the 80-20 rule. 80% of the content that we put out on social media should be educational and informative, not necessarily the buy now or the call to action. So think of it this way. 80% of the content that I'm putting out is going to be about things that are important to my audience, not necessarily important to me, but I'm sharing information with them. So being, building that awareness, sharing your knowledge, educating your audience is going to be key in building trust. And then, of course, the third thing where we talked about in providing that customer service, the point that I want to make here is that not only, think of it as a customer service tool, but one of the ways that you can provide answers to your audience who may be on the sideline looking at what's being posted about your business. People are very aware of what others are saying. As you know, reviews and online reviews are very important in helping customers make decisions about their purchases. So providing that customer support and engaging on the platforms. And like I said, if you spend 5 minutes a day, or 5 minutes if you want to break it down even further, if you have multiple social media platforms you're using, use 5 minutes a day just to look at it from a customer service standpoint. Respond to those questions. Take care of your audience if there are any, let's say, complaints, for example. You want to address those right up front and really kind of let people know that you are engaged with them. So you've invited them to your network. Now we're showing our level of engagement. And then, of course, that 20% of your content then should be about driving action. And you can do that several ways. So depending on the social media platform, for example, you can use the tools like polls, questions, and answers to really kind of drive that action, getting people to engage with you. This third slide here, or this third view here, is something that I find a lot of people are using, is they're putting out in a text format. Now, this is an image, but they're putting this out in text format. Notice how this really kind of pops and stands out. We're striving for 5 stars. Leave a review on our Facebook page. So this is another kind of way you can use the particular platform and crafting your message in a way that gets out there. So this call to action, very important. Getting folks to sign up for a free consultation or an online event. Maybe you're holding an online networking event. These are the calls to actions to drive registrations, to get people to pay for your service. Maybe you are selling products. That call to action, that buy now, is then what we call that 20%. So 80% of your content is informative, educational to your audience. 20% of that content is going to encourage action. And of course, one of the easiest ways that you could help in your social media marketing is to repurpose content that you have saved over time. And repurposing content will actually save you time. So look at, for example, if I send out an email, am I sharing that email on my Facebook page? And if you're using Constant Contact, you could do that very easily. Do you have a blog? Are you blogging? Are you sharing that blog and repurposing that content to be shared on social media? And again, look at adjusting your message depending on what social media platform you are using. And of course, finding industry news and content. So one of the things that I like to do is I follow, blogs of people that I respect and admire in our industry. And if I see something that I think our audience would be interested in, I share that content and I give them credit. So this also kind of speaks to using your knowledge, using your experience and expertise, and connecting people with resources that will help them as well. You always want to be regarded, whether if you're selling a product or you are engaging your audience with a service, is to let them know that not only do you provide that service, but you are also a subject matter expert in your own field, and that you are looking to educate and share with your audience the things that are important to them. So we've talked about how to choose that right social media network and a 15-minute plan. If you spend 5 minutes on building awareness, 5 minutes on customer support. So we're answering and we're scanning our social media for ways to engage and answer our customers or potential customers' questions. And then 5 minutes a day on posting things that might be helpful in driving action. So remember our 3 buckets: awareness, customer service, and action. So let's talk about paid advertising briefly. So part of the way that you can amplify your reach and expand your reach or reach a greater audience is to use paid advertising. So my last question of this morning is on, are you currently using paid advertising to expand your reach and connect with maybe folks who don't know about you? So let us answer that question. All righty. Okay, this is going to be a subject. This section of the presentation is kind of important these days in that there are some changes, and I'll talk about those as we go through. So let's share the results. 100% of you are saying that you are not currently using paid advertising in your social media. So let us delve a little bit more into the reasons why that might be the case, and to why maybe you should consider advertising and using paid ads to advertise on social media. So social media is and has changed, is changing and has changed. One of the important aspects that you may have realized, especially if you're on Facebook, is if you're kind of relying on Facebook for organic traffic, you may be seeing that that is really not the case. When you post something on social media or on Facebook, for example, maybe 1% or less of the followers, people who are following you, will actually see that content. all social media has a paid advertising component to it. So let's explore that a little bit more. But one of the things I want to just tell you right off the bat is that it can be a very cost-effective way to expand your reach. And part of the reason that I think that people kind of struggle in this area is that it can be a little overwhelming, and it does have a little bit of a learning curve when you're talking about maybe using Facebook ads or Instagram ads or LinkedIn ads, Twitter, Pinterest. So understanding that it does have a little learning curve. What I'm going to hope to do here is kind of give you some ideas on how to and ways to think about paid ads on social media. And of course, one of the first questions that I get is, how much should I be spending if I'm thinking about spending on social media? And I'll talk a little bit about that as we go through this. One of the things, and one of the number one things that you can get out of paid advertising on social media is that you can be very specific in targeting your ads. For example, on Facebook, you can go into Facebook through your Facebook Ads Manager, and you can create what we call a custom audience. One of the easiest ways that you can build an audience inside of Facebook or Instagram or even LinkedIn would be to upload your email list, if you're using email marketing, into Facebook. Facebook will go out and match those email addresses against who might be a user in Facebook. And then you would be able to build what we call an audience. So Facebook would already identify the folks that are on your mailing list that have a Facebook presence. And that actually can turn, when we're talking about narrowing it down, you can do by demographics, location, behaviors, and interests. So let's say, for example, I am a landscaper. Well, I might be interested in building an audience on people who follow, television shows that focus on do-it-yourself gardening. So I may look into Facebook to see who's out there that are interested in either television shows in my industry, magazines, maybe companies. So I can build an audience that way and use either buying habits or audience interest in doing that. And then the next thing that I can do, which is very powerful, is then I can ask, for example, Facebook to create what we call a lookalike audience. So I can say, based on everyone that I've uploaded from my email list, Facebook, go out there and look for other audience, or look for other people who match kind of the basic different demographics and behaviors of the people that I've uploaded. So let's say, for example, I have 500 people on my mailing list, and I can turn that into an audience using a Facebook lookalike audience into hundreds of thousands or even millions of people that might be interested in my product or service that I could target my ad to. So that is one reason why you might want to consider paid advertising. The second thing that you might want to consider in paid advertising is, designing and publishing your ad is pretty straightforward. It's a great, it's just almost like as creating a post, except you're doing it from the ads platform. So you can do, for example, a video where you actually have a call to action. like in this first screen view here, where I'm asking people to subscribe, or we're asking people to subscribe to a class, purchase a product, sign up for a free consultation. And this not only gives them a call to action, but also a place to go where they can actually take advantage of that offer. This is where your 20% of your content falls into in that call to action. So think of using your ads as a way to highlight and expand on that call to action that you want people to take. And then, of course, when you think about designing your ad, you can use images and videos to do that. The other thing that I'd like to kind of talk about is budget. How much should I use, or should I budget for social media? And it's been our experience over the past 10 years, when you think about this, not only thinking about how much you can invest, and I call it investment because paid advertising is a very valuable tool. It's almost like, for example, you invested either time and or money into development of your website. Well, think of your ads as an additional investment in the growth of your business. And paid advertising can not only expand your reach, but also kind of help you solidify and build your brand. So look at that as well. So designing and publishing your ad and your budget. First thing I would do would, look at maybe a test budget of $50, or depending on, and we break it kind of down into campaigns, where let's say I do a $7 or a 7-day campaign, how much should I spend if I want to promote my product or service? And the rule of thumb for Facebook really is, if when you think about it, is to, you're doing a lot of testing. So let's say I wanted to do a test campaign on building my audience. I would recommend a budget of $5 a day for 7 days. That's $35. And there I can gather a lot of information. And what I'm doing with that first campaign in gathering information and data is that I'm trying to figure out, what my audience behavior is about. So having an ad go out, I'm looking at gathering information. Maybe I'm sharing a blog post. Maybe I'm sharing, a resource, a guide, something to give away to my audience that will help them, a checklist. Well, that $5 a day for 7 days is going to give me a lot of additional reach, and also give me a lot of data that I could use in either expanding on my ad, creating a new ad, and then maybe spending a little more money on doing, on expanding my reach, driving action, and getting a return on my investment. So as a, kind of a guideline as far as cost, I would say think of, if you're going to do this on a monthly basis or by a campaign basis, I would look at a minimum budget of $200 a month to do really good research and advertising on Facebook. But like I said, you could break it up into separate campaigns. So maybe my first campaign, I'm just using Facebook ads to get people to like my page who are interested in the topics in my industry. A second campaign, maybe to promote a blog post, and I run that for 7 days. And then the third campaign would be to drive that call to action where I'm getting people to either sign up for my service or buy my product. And one of the ways you could do that in Constant Contact that can help augment that is to create what we call email automations and engaging our leads. So you can use an automated campaign to put further information out there about what your ad is targeting. And you can create what we call Facebook lead ads, for example, right inside of Constant Contact. And this is one of the most popular formats in Facebook, is to create a lead ad. And a lead is, a potential customer. And one of the ways you could do that, like I said, is you could promote, let's say, a frequently asked questions, a blog post, a downloadable file, a video where you are exchanging information for an email address, which would in Facebook be a lead. And Facebook is actually set up to really make that process easy. So I gave you some really, and this is an overview, but I've given you some ideas on how to use social media to build awareness, customer service, and drive action. If you spend 5 minutes a day on each of these activities, it will help you grow your social media following. So think of it as my 15-minute plan where I'm going to focus on building awareness by sharing posts that are informational. I'm going to, and educational. I'm going to use another 5 minutes to answer and respond to any customer service related activities. And then I'm going to spend 15 minutes to either use a Facebook ad or to use an event or something or call to action that's going to build engagement and further connect with my audience. And then, of course, I'm going to use social media ads to expand my reach to people who may not be, who may not have heard about my product or service, or may have already been engaged with a competitor of ours. One of the things you could do in social media is definitely find out and use social media to find out what your competitors are doing as well. So I follow a lot of our competitors' social media pages just to see what they're posting. And like I said, one of the ways that you can do this is to use a platform like Constant Contact, where you have everything under one roof. You have email, websites, social media ads and management, logos, and e-commerce. You can do all of this. Manage your social media under Constant Contact. And if you are interested in connecting with a SCORE mentor, here is a link, and like I said, I will provide this to you at the end of the sometime later today. Engage with a mentor. Ask them about your challenges with social media. Our folks have a wide range of experience and are able to kind of help you make sense of it. And then, of course, if you are interested in getting started with a platform like Constant Contact, I'd definitely love to talk to you about that. I will, again, like I said, this information will be in the follow-up email. And then, of course, if you are interested in attending any of our workshops, you can do that as well. Go to treasurevalley.score.org, click on our workshop, take a workshop tab, and you will see our upcoming workshops. And if you have missed a workshop in the past, we have an archive of previously recorded workshops, so you can definitely get a head start on that as well. So thank you for attending today's presentation. I hope that you got a few nuggets out of it. And right now, if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer your questions about social media. Any questions out there? All righty. I don't see any questions. And if there are no questions, let me just thank you again for attending today's webinar. Here is my contact information. You can find me at tedigitalmarketing.com or email me at john@tedigitalmarketing.com, and I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions about today's workshop. Again, you can connect with Treasure Valley Score. You can reach them at treasurevalley.score@gmail.com or visit our website or give us a phone call. We are prepared and ready and eager to help see your business grow. So with that, I'd like to thank you again for attending today's workshop and look forward to seeing you online again soon. Thank you.